Good day, everybody. This is the third video of this series, and might be the how do I say this? Like the first season of like this series, because I do have more individuals in mind to talk about. But for now, these will be our three subjects, which have been Catullus, Julius Caesar, and for this video, it's gonna be Nietzsche. Nietzsche is one of the more he's kind of sort of fallen out of grace, at least in my generation. Um, Seems like Nietzsche was greatly influential in the generations prior to my own, but I have been reading his works and I was a bit captivated. I began with the genealogy of morals, and I grew to like it in a way, but it's I feel like it's a bit too much against Christianity and some of the, but he does have a point on some of the things he speaks of. But that's besides the point. The genealogy of morals deserves its own video on its own, so we won't get too much into it. But since then, I have bought Beyond Good and Evil and Thus Spoke Zarathustra. I bought those because mainly I was like, I kind of like Nietzsche. Like, I kind of want to get more of his works, and I'm thinking about getting the Dawn and the Antichrist. But Zarathustra and Beyond Good and Evil and the Genealogy of Morals, from what I know, is Nietzsche's more famous works, and what better to not have them myself. As of right now, I have 125 books, so I'm looking to get into classic novels actually. But uh, yeah, as you know, it's pretty expensive. It's very difficult to find storage to store physical books. As you know, I'm not really a big fan on um, what's it called? Digital reading. Not my favorite. I mean, I have a tablet for it, but I still prefer the physical copies than anything. It's not that I'm running out of storage or anything, but it's just some of these books are big and they take a lot more space than others. But that's besides the point. Let's get into the subject of today's video that really caught me in when I was reading the genealogy of morals, the third essay to be exact. It was, I believe it's the one about the aesthetic ideal, and the thing I never really thought about is that there is a philosophic aesthetic ideal, and Nietzsche pointed that out to me, and I was very dumbfounded. I'm not against religion myself, but I am against some of their habits, and unconsciously I was dipping into those habits like a religious person would. And Nietzsche pointed that out, how like philosophers are very similar in that way to the aesthetics, and that's why they really get into that aesthetic mode. And I was just like, you really, you really hit the spot, didn't you? And of course, this is really just predicated on like philosophers tend to spend more time in doing other activities like reading and whatnot. And overall, it's just something you should probably read on your own. Like I said, this I haven't really mentioned in these videos, but these videos are more like this particular series is more like me discussing things as I read them, just discussing my point and how my viewpoint is in reading these great works. So it's not really a heavy analysis or anything. And yeah, but overall, like the genealogy of morals was something that really opened my eyes to something like I never saw before. Like Nietzsche, pretty much going over like the history of the meaning of the word good and bad, and how like good was associated with the aristocratic, and then bad was associated with the slaves or the lower classes or or serfs, as he would say. And basically, Christianity came in the came in and pretty much switched it on its toes. Like confidence became pride, and and so on and so on. It's pretty much a shift of the words. And his narrative, well, it's not his narrative because I don't know. It's more like his viewpoint or something like that. Like he's pretty much not very too fond of like the whole Judeo Christian world and like how it's kind of it's kind of like how it produces its own antithesis in a way. Like Christianity is all about finding the truth, and in turn that created science, and science is about finding out the truth and all. So like Christianity created its own meshes of problems. I do not consider myself a heavy Christian or anything. I would say I'm above. I just I like reading the scriptures. Like I have a Bible myself. Right now, I'm currently reading the Gospel of John again, and I have read I pretty much have read the New Testament in its entirety. I have not read the Old Testament except Genesis, and I'm still not even done reading it because it's pretty long, and I tend to read multiple things at once, so I tend to neglect reading other things to read others. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And like, pretty much the third essay was probably my favorite, mainly because it mainly made me realize that like philosophers actually tend to dip into this aesthetic ideal in a way, like the whole moderation thing and whatnot. Like it's very similar to that of an aesthetic if you think about it, and that's just something we should really acknowledge and pay attention to. Like at first when I heard of Nietzsche, I don't know, he felt like a boogeyman of philosophy for me. I avoided his works very much so, and his appearance did not help. He looked pretty scary, but overall, I think this man he deserves the credit he he has, and I'm very much a big fan of him. Um, I like his. I just like you, even though you know mic that out there. Um, had to charge it and had to charge my recording device as well. And then I just went on an eating break. So yeah, but anyways, back to what I was saying. Nietzsche's way of expression. This is something so unique in the in philosophy. Like there's just something about his way of expression, even though it's like it's translated to us in English when he wrote in German. It's just quite it's just quite different to what I was used to in like the way you can express yourself in English. English notoriously isn't a good language to translate other works in because sometimes it doesn't come out well. But anyhow, that's pretty much the way I liked about Nietzsche. I just really enjoy his way of thinking. Honestly, he's such a unique thinker. I don't think there'll never be another Nietzsche. Somebody like him is rare to be born into this world of ours, and his way of it just broadens your perspective to an entire degree. Like it's just such a good experience, the genealogy of morals. And I hope to read his other works soon. I'm not sure when because I have a whole entire reading list I want to read. Like next, I'm reading currently the Catalina Conspiracy by Solos. Expect a video on that and my thoughts on it. And then I have to read Cicero's speech against Catiline, and then the Life of Cicero by Plutarch as well. But anyhow, overall, I'm trying to get into classic novels like Dostoevsky, Albert Camus, and so on. I got my hands on a couple like Jane Austen, I believe is her name. Pride and Prejudice. It's a well-known book. I see people post. I thought I was like, let's see what it has. And then I also got my hands on Rene Descartes, a really well-known philosopher. His meditations on first philosophy is a really talked about book. And then I also got John Locke. I forgot the works, but let me see. I also got Immanuel Kant, a critique of Pierre. I forgot the name, but I want to get into those three philosophers too because they're just something I feel like I need to read because I listen to a lot of lecture series and the most mentioned are literally it's Kant. And Kant is mentioned because of his the way these lectures depict him as a crazy mad person, but I like to think that he isn't as mad as people say. And Descartes is he's just something I just want to read. And Locke, um, he's also mentioned quite a lot, but not to the degree that Kant is. I also want to read Goethe and and Russell too. Russell's a he's a unique one. I watched a lecture about him and Wes Cecil's YouTube channel. Really good content creator, very good, educated man in general. He is one of he's just he's at the level of Michael Subaru, if you don't know who he is. And then I also listened to Jonathan B. Jonathan B. is a bit he doesn't really get really friendly responses, particularly because his lectures don't feel very natural. Like they feel a bit staged in a way, but he does give overall a good overview of things and very educated man too. But he should probably try not to like overdo it with like his way of his usage of certain vocabulary and just overall how he his body language. It just makes it very artificial. Something that this series of commentaries wishes to be more organic in a way. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And I have to let this video finish because I have another video to do. And I'll see you in the next video.